You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.
We are back and you're kicking it with G.
And hey Charlie,
on
what's
92
up?
KELZ. We in this thing. We are in here with Miss Tiffany and Ike. How y'all doing?
What's going on? What's going on?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we definitely in here to talk about relationships. A touchy subject.
This is a very touchy subject. We were getting ready for this, and like the conversation that we had, it was starting to go there, and I was like,
really
you know what? Let's save it for tomorrow.
I wanted to say everything because I want it to be natural though, because that's something you can talk about all day long on different many occasions,
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So just for us to just start, I will just go from the left to the right. So Ike, who are you, and what are some things that you've done before?
I ain't did nothing, man. I'm nobody. No, my name is Ikechi Ojire. I go by Ike. I am an author. I am a speaker. I perform. No, I'm a musician. I'm pretty much just say what's on my mind when it's on my mind. That's what I can say.
Yes, he's very direct.
Yeah.
It's great, and I think he's being humble today too. He is more than just a musician. He's pretty dope, and more than just an author.
I mean, you know, you call it what you call it.
It'll
Okay,
come out
I
in
can
the
see this is
interview.
going to be interesting with these two today.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So I wear a few hats. My name is Tiffany Scales. I'm here for my company, Marius Tiffany, where I aid in intimacy enhancements, communication development, and emotion translation for individuals who are dealing with issues not being able to deliver on the love language their partner or loved ones receive well, as well as just being able to get from past pain to get to a space to be open to receive love, period. I also am an artist. I no longer perform, as the word don't fit my spirit, but I do deliver healing words through extemporaneous poetry. And I run a nonprofit organization in Houston. This is my 9th year running Toiletries for Families. We provide hygiene items for those affected by disaster and poverty. I am an advocate and a humanitarian, and I too speak what's on my mind when it's there.
I love that.
I do.
She's so dope. I think she's also being humble too. Like getting to see her not perform.
I honestly feel like you
is an
have to be
experience.
humble to be able to get to the level to be able to talk to other people about relationships. You have to go through a lot.
You do. I think, and then also to be a creative, you have to be kind of level-headed because you already go through so many different emotions. And you
Yeah.
feel so much when you're like in your zone, and so just so it doesn't overtake you, you're like, I'm gonna be real chill about this.
You got to be level-headed.
But with that being said, how do you balance out being a creative and having relationships like across the board? Not even just like romantic, platonic, family. How do you balance that?
Are you looking at me first?
Yeah. Do you have to
Relationships for me are a very it's all about understanding. Like the person that you in any form of relationship, friendship, like they have to understand what your purpose is in the world, not necessarily in their life, but they have to kind of in a I don't know how else to say it at this point. They have to kind of bow down to the things that are necessary for you to be in. I don't just I have best friends, and I know why I'm each four of those best people. I know why I'm their best friend, and everyone I know how to talk to them a certain way because they need this and he needs that, and they have to have the same thing for me, because my creativity doesn't just span through writing. It doesn't just span through music. It kind of goes across the board. So I need more, and they need more.
Yeah.
So there has to be like some level of understanding of self
Yes.
before you
multidisciplinary,
can
right?
Yeah.
connect. Yeah,
Definitely.
I like that.
He said something about like friendships and just about friendship. It's so many people that I've seen like really have friends. They say from the sandbox they've known like
Yeah.
The
forever.
whole life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very hard to do.
Especially if you're an army brat.
Yeah, cause man,
Or
like
if mom
it's-
can't pay the rent.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
like
Right.
to have those long relationships. Like I feel like you gonna have to take a whole lot of things that you say you don't take.
Why do you say that? What do you mean? Take
For somebody to be in your life that long and them never to do nothing to make you mad, and you supposed to been maturing on levels throughout your life and they ain't done nothing.
Well, I mean that's a part of like learning. You know, is to some things don't. I know that this person is a habitual liar. Okay, you know, I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you accept it and move forward, then you accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I accept friends for who they are. Like, hey, I know I got a friend. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. But I have a friend he's a mama's boy, like complete mama's boy.
Yeah.
From his mama house to his sister house to his wife's house to his sister house again to his next wife's house. You know, and he's a mama's boy. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be mad at him for being a mama's boy if I already know it.
Yeah, you can't.
I accept him for who he is, and they need what he needs. It's a codependency, you know, going on. I don't feed into it, but he's still my friend.
Indeed. You know, I would even say you think about the correlation of time. So you know somebody from the sandbox, and if he's on your Facebook, you'd be like, yeah, I've known no dude for, 15, 20 years. That doesn't mean you were there during puberty or first heartbreak or the first time he went to jail or the first time he was pulled over. You don't necessarily get to experience all of those things. And people correlate friendships with, amorous relationships, and they forget that you still got to go through things that you didn't get to experience with your friends. So it's easier to forgive them. It's easier to, bow down or submit to what you don't want to from them. But with an individual that you're supposed to be up here because you're with me. So your whole reception to what they do and don't may be different because you're open emotionally to not be disappointed. So you're not expecting them to do what Ray and Day did.
Yeah. I think I agree with what she's saying. Like, you don't have certain expectations for certain people. Like, you understand how they fit in your life. This is the person that when we get together, we'll have good conversation. It's not that deep.
Exactly.
But it's like, we can talk about pretty much anything. We have things that are in common.
Yeah.
However, I'm not going to share all of my stuff with this person.
No, because Ike said one of his friends is a mama's boy, but if he had, if his partner, wife, whatever, I can't assume, but if the person that he chooses to be with, if she's dependent on her father and he's an artist and he's living in the moment, that might be a conflict, in communication. So you got to be able to understand.
But in this situation, they work well together. It's like, wow, that's dope. I mean, he needs you. And
and you don't mind being there.
I mean, he needs you. Y'all need each other. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the Wu-Tang show.
We were just talking about that.
We literally were.
So, on the latest episode, it was like all your homeboys from the hood who you grew up with, who who was shooting shots in the gym with you, and they don't know how to act when you get to your new place.
Yeah.
Like, bye, bro. If some things aren't meant for everybody to understand.
Yeah.
Some things.
Not everybody's patient enough to teach them how to.
Right.
That is also very true.
Man.
That is also
That's
very
a big
true.
thing because a lot of people ain't really taught how to really handle certain things.
Raise your hand because somebody else did on Sunday, or you pass the food to the right because somebody else did on Thanksgiving dinner, but you don't necessarily grow up in that regimen of knowing how to be social, how to give thanks or be appreciative or to offer your body language to say what you don't know how to.
Yeah. That takes a lot of patience, though, to even have to communicate that, to not only go through your own journey, but try to help someone else through theirs. That's a lot of patience.
That's
and
why you
selflessness.
wait. That's why you wait until you get it.
Yeah.
What Deion Cole was talking about that on his little comedy special. He talking about waiting, going through levels in life. He was like, see, where you messed up at is you settled down where you should have passed on levels in life when you instead of going up and learning.
Yes.
Instead of waiting. I was like, I totally
especially in this
agree with
microwave
that.
generation, man.
Baby.
We live in a generation now where everybody's like,
Instant.
we want. Hey,
Let's
right
talk
now.
about it now. Like right now, I'm gonna just be real. Like guys, we done. If you ain't on your stuff, you pretty much in the fire. You smoked. You done. Ain't nobody dealing with you. And it's crazy. Like nobody's willing to accept that, but women won't do it on the other way around.
What do you
I haven't
mean?
seen too many women on top come down and pick somebody up and bring
Well,
them
no,
up.
because a lot of women might just expect you to know what to do. That's the problem everywhere. I walk in
That
a
is
room.
definitely the
I
problem.
walk in a room and all of y'all sitting here and nobody says good afternoon. I'm just gonna think you rude.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right?
This is what I come in contact with, and so I was the kid that didn't know how.
Right.
And then you get into the dating situation or trying to be in a relationship, and people expect you to. Where she had a family, what I'm saying. She has a dad, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and I was just me and my mom. And my mom didn't teach me how to open doors or pump gas for her, necessarily. So when you get into a new relationship where somebody is like, "So you ain't gonna open my door?" And you be sitting there like, "I didn't even know that I needed to do that," and I'm really getting lashes on my back because I had no idea, But like you said, you think I'm rude, and I'm like, it's not that I just didn't know. Like
just-
that ain't.
yeah.
Like me and Charlie get into it all the time because the way she grew up and the way I grew up, 2 different
Two
things.
totally different
So
ways.
she comes at me one way, and I'm like, "Yo, what?" Like, watch how you talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
So it's that thing. We have no idea. It's a learning process, and everybody doesn't know. And some people need to learn now. You know, I wish we had adult classes where we learn how to do
Baby,
stuff.
let me tell you, like in real life,
In real life.
the how-to is missing.
Man.
You know, nobody who taught you how to be a woman, or did you watch your mother or your sister or the girls on Girlfriends? Who taught you how to be a man?
It's literally society.
You
though.
know,
Like,
we
everything
are
you see.
subject in this society. I just left Aldine Middle School. Those little boys are being taught something that the people in Sugarland are not being subjected
Completely.
to.
Completely.
And when you look at the whole development and their maturity, he might not understand social skills, but he knows how to break things down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a certain level of being able to reach them where they are.
And I think a lot of us actually, we try to achieve the same thing, but we just go about it in a different method,
way.
and we don't communicate that this is how I do it. Like, we'll just be, like, I'm the type of person, I'm like, if I get frustrated, I will shut down on you. Like, eventually, I'll be like, you know, whatever. And I feel like sometimes I have more patience for strangers than I do for people that are trying to connect
Because you
to me.
expect more from
Because I
them.
do expect.
Yes.
I'm like, you should watch how I do things. You should know my intentions. But then now I'm learning, you know, you need to communicate your intentions
Right.
sometimes. Like, actions don't speak louder than words.
Or that first date conversation don't need to be what Real Housewives of whomever was. More so,
Seriously.
I receive love by touch. I can feel your energy that way. I can understand if you're, you know, if you're a little off, if you need some sustenance or a supplement. But if you don't allow yourself to reveal yourself to people, then
Yeah.
they're flipping cards over trying to memorize what you're going to show them next time.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Well, I was traumatized growing up,
Okay.
just seeing certain things go out. Because I was one of them people, like, as far as jumping out and approaching a female in person, saying anything, I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt to chop me up in front of nobody.
So what did you do?
That's a security thing.
I don't
though.
know.
I mean, but that's all men.
It always
You know what
worked
I'm
out
saying?
for me. I ain't never had a problem.
But not not
We don't like
really
losing.
tell
You know what I'm
that, though.
saying? We don't like looking bad. We don't, especially in front of our friends. Like,
It's not gonna happen.
But see, the way you do that, though, guys, is you don't welcome the no.
Yeah.
With respect, of course, it's not about sex. But
Mm-hmm.
when you ask somebody, you invite them to your space, it's not, hey, do you want to come sit down? You're like, pull the chair out. Gestures and body language will convey a message way more effectively than our tainted and shriveled up words that we have shrunk to be something as small as we felt we would look like. Right? But if you allow yourself to just show with your actions,
Well-
because they speak louder.
well, some people don't understand the show. Like, especially I was a teacher for 12 years, and you see over time, like, more people are not understanding what the look looks like, or what body language. Like, you looking at them like, and they just looking at you back like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You know, they have no idea. They have no idea. And again, this is words need to be said. You have to learn to convey a wide variety of things through your vocabulary.
Correct.
You know, in order to present this thing that needs to happen. Like you said, it needs to be a class. Like, because you expect me to show, and I'm like, well, would you like for me to open this chair? Would you like for me to open this door for you?
Right.
Because
but in
some
a
people don't
society
like
where
that.
you have to get consent for everything,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you know.
the
Yeah.
understanding,
Yeah.
right?
So I'm like,
It was kind of almost lost for a minute for us on the everybody having to get consent. Because at one point, people was just doing whatever they wanted to do.
okay.
With those gestures.
With those
grabbing
gestures.
things they shouldn't be.
I'm just,
you know,
being,
I mean, no.
just being honest. This society, it was going that way for a minute.
But even I know one of the signs of abuse. So it's October, right? I just had my 9th domestic violence awareness walk last weekend, and we addressed bullying, violence, abuse, and suicide. And we had somebody talking about, you know, the fact that it is considered emotionally abusive if you refrain from touching your partner, if you, you know, revoke intimacy from them in any fashion. But the argument was, well, why do I have to use my body to bring you comfort? And how is that deemed emotionally abusive when really it's an invasion of my bodily right? And so there's an argument of, like, you know, how liberals will always argue whatever the point is just to show the other point or try to be an advocate. But we don't really just place too much emphasis on the accountability that's not being taken from the communication.
Hold on. Say that one more time. What you said about
Can't.
the about touch.
So emotional touch, right?
Uh-huh.
So based on your upbringing or just things that you associate with being tended to,
Uh-huh.
if I were to touch your right shoulder, you might feel like I'm scolding you because your teacher did it when you were
Okay.
in trouble.
Okay.
But if you like an embrace where it's not that like fake church hug, but a true embrace where
Yeah.
you can actually inhale
Okay.
and exhale, And if I begrudge you that because you've angered me or because I feel like you don't deserve to be loved or feel loved, that's deemed emotional abuse.
I got you.
However, the argument is, how can your abuser be considered an abuser because they choose what to do with their body?
I got you. Well, I mean, now I try not to talk in blanket statements because everybody is completely different.
Yeah.
You know, like we like to think men are one way, women are one way. Well, if all men are the same, that means that all women are the same. And there's 2 women in this room, and I know y'all not the same.
Yeah.
You know, so I never try to speak in blanket statements. Research says a lot of things. Find out what this person likes.
Yeah.
Rather than trying and say, hey, all women are like this. Which, you know, they have plenty of books out there, plenty of people who are, you know, gurus of relationships who will get you all messed up because some women like it and some women don't.
Exactly.
Some men like it, some men don't.
You always had them.
You know.
And even science, because some people say, oh, well, the pattern shows.
Right.
Or, you know, the proof shows. Well, honey, if you've only pulled from the same pool,
Then
you
you
don't
really
have
have
the
no proof.
content. You can't survey the spectrum, right?
It's a mass. Again, I think that you have to learn the person that you're with, the friendships that you have. You have to know that person rather than trying to get to know the masses as everybody could like this. No, just the people that follow you like this.
But how do we get to that point though? Like, because like you said earlier, like a lot of people don't know. Like, how do you put yourself in a state of mind of learning?
Communication. Like you have to be
open.
open to learning. You know, this person. If me and Charlie were dating, look, tell me everything. You know.
But you guys also be willing to accept their views and what they actually say.
And everything they say, because when you say tell me everything, not every thought should be a statement, because she might say insecurity first before she dissects it.
True.
Right?
True.
And she might, you know, be expecting something bigger than what you provide. You don't want that to neglect the
I
essence.
definitely understand.
You know what I mean?
I definitely understand.
It's literally the how-to, I would say, is the first step, because if nothing else, if you're too ashamed to say you don't know how to be intimate or emotionally naked, I can tell you that way it's provided.
See, that's a big thing. A lot of people don't want to accept their faults of not knowing what I can't do.
So let's start with that. You have to first start with self.
Yeah.
Like you have to know yourself enough to know, well, what she said, I'm not willing to deal with. Like she's so fine that I think I'm okay with this, you know.
And you go think about
I can deal with this a little bit longer. Well, that's the issue, is that we hold on to things that we shouldn't be holding on to.
I think that opens up to what we were saying last night, because I was talking about vulnerability within relationships, like that you need to have a certain level of vulnerability. And he was like, well, if I'm starting a relationship with someone or I'm getting to know someone, I'm not going to give them all of me. And I'm like, well,
not right up front. Well, not up front. That's what I was saying. They have to be worth it, right?
But I wasn't.
They have to be worth it.
But I wasn't.
You don't know if they worth it.
But they have to. Over time, it shows.
Over time, it does show worth.
Like even the dollar goes up and down.
If I'm sorry, but if you're gonna pay attention to your body language and what it feels like when someone's in your space, like breathing, like how naturally we're able to breathe, just take these deep breaths and just listen to each other. There are certain elements where you'll find yourself like apprehensive. Your body will tighten. You will physically tell yourself this is not something to do.
Yeah.
You'll physically know to stop drinking because you don't need to go any further, right?
I agree with
but
that.
if you trust yourself, if you check
You
yourself
know yourself.
first,
Yeah.
you know yourself. Like, don't tell me that you can allow anybody to give you a compliment if you haven't stood in the mirror naked enough to know your body front and back before they can even identify beauty. And you as a man, like, y'all can't accept anybody calling you fine or attractive or anything term if you don't give yourself mirror time. Like, you won't know you. You won't. I was 20 before I knew my eyes were green.
I don't believe that.
No, 20.
So, I mean, you woke up every morning, looked in the mirror, and you
I
ain't
did
see
not
green?
look in the mirror.
But how often do you see yourself? What do
You
know
go in
about
the
yourself?
bathroom, you put your eyes down and wash your face. You look up to see if you got crust in your eyes before you go in front of people, but you're not looking at you.
You're not like
You're not
observing
really paying
yourself.
You're not
Yeah.
like looking at your reflection, right? Do you have a kid?
Yeah,
That's like looking at you, is it not?
it is.
Their gestures, their laugh, the way they sleep. But if you don't look at you in that same capacity, if you can't take that deep breath, like, look what God has done.
I don't know.
You know
I
what I
agree with
mean?
you. I'm just like, but I see what you're saying, because I don't, like you say, study. Yeah, I ain't never just. sit there and
I mean,
study.
we don't
Yeah.
usually, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the ways of society say that you have to worry about everything else except for who you are. You know, I have a pastor friend that says something. He says you have to get rid of what you can't keep to gain what you can't lose.
Oh, yeah.
That means that, like, the things that are holding you down, let go of them so that you can know you better. so you can know God better, so you can know anything better. And if I'm in this relationship and I don't feel it, this is not working out for me, I let go of that relationship in order to gain the relationship that I'm supposed to have.
But see, I mean, we can hear that. Like, I definitely agree with you. But
Okay.
it's still at the point that people don't know what to actually let go. Because a lot of people like, okay, God told me to do this.
Past pain.
God didn't tell you to do that.
So you have a lot
It's
of
a lot of, you know what I mean? It's a lot
Yeah.
of decisions you make just off of stress, not really knowing what's going on, seeing things.
Well,
through.
if there's stress involved, you probably need to let that go.
I was going to say, you need to let go of the resistance of it
anything that will
from
keep
whatever
you-
you've experienced before.
So like if you're standing in the room with somebody and you're about to like, get it in, but you got to turn the lights off or you got to be under a blanket, then you're not ready to be there.
No,
That's
I
the
agree.
first
I
rule.
agree.
I'm still
Right?
ready to be there.
No,
You're not ready to be all the way
It's
there.
going down. I'm just a little
You're physically
uncomfortable.
and mentally ready to be there, but your soul
Is the
ain't
air
ready to
conditioner on? I
prepare
don't
for
know.
that soul tie you're about to take on.
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're being funny, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like you have to be ready for things.
But you know,
like
that's
that.
real. There's a lot of people like, nah, we're going to cut these lights off.
No. Wait till you can.
Turn them on.
Because I ain't trying to play with
Wanna see
nobody. Like,
everything.
don't even come over here with
And
that.
think about that experience,
Yeah.
though. Think about it. Be
With
like,
eye
it could have been
contact.
better.
Where they are looking at your insecurities and calling them beautiful or massive.
I like her.
Like it's just you have to expect.
Well, everybody
that.
ain't getting that, for one.
I mean, I
I'm
was
with
just
you.
gonna say,
Everybody
Well,
ain't getting that.
Marius Tiffany gets you together real easy.
I saw the wedding
Okay.
rings on there. I was
Now-
like, she sell rings.
I'm
Okay.
going to be real. Now, you say that. You say, Mary, us, Tiffany can get you there. Yeah, you can get us there in your presence. But when we go home,
No,
it's
I
just
leave
me
you.
and her.
I leave you with tools. So I have a questionnaire that I offer all couples or individuals who acknowledge that they have an issue with their emotional intelligence or maintaining a healthy relationship. I'm a big advocate on stopping domestic violence, and I know with some people they don't understand that financial and emotional control is still abusive. And so I have a questionnaire where I'm able to get through the nooks and crannies because I'm not worried about what she said right now or what he did last night. I want to know who you are and how you are. How do you respond to love or the absence of it? And that way I'm able to better articulate what's necessary for your regimen. But I give you the process like mirror time. So while I'm not there, you're still getting up, going in the mirror before you speak to anybody, and you're looking in your eyes and you're taking that deep breath and accounting for the fact that you got to wake up today. And then you go address the situation. It's not as difficult to tell people how you feel when you're not in the moment feeling embarrassed or judged or ridiculed by it.
That's a big thing.
You
The
because
biggest thing
when
is
we get upset, we
Yeah.
hold our breath and the rage comes and we're not being, respectful in the
Yeah.
process. And so they're not going to receive what we're saying.
That's the number one thing that relationships lack, or that's how you determine like love is. Love and respect are go hand in hand.
Yes.
Like if I don't respect you, then I don't love you.
Yeah.
And if you don't respect me, you can't love me. So like we feel in every situation that you are upset in is usually feeling a lack of respect.
Yes.
Like, hey, man, she don't respect me. She don't respect this decision that I made. She doesn't respect this relationship goal that I created. Whatever. We need to realize that those two things cannot happen without each other.
Respect can happen with disrespectful acts, though. And I'd only say that because people argue irrationally. And they call names, they talk about your mama, and they say this is why you're having a hard time financially, and they kind of jab you in certain areas because they have past pain that they still sitting on. They haven't let that stuff go. But I will say, if you're in a relationship and y'all are arguing and you don't like what's said when they're upset, then let that go. Because if you're not able to maintain respect throughout the process, then it's not healthy. But you don't necessarily want to just leave a relationship because somebody got a hot fire tongue. You just learn to communicate more effectively. You can give me a call. But it is required.
These drops,
Really?
I love them. She's
I
like
ain't saying-
plugging
No, I mean,
all day. I
but
love it. I love it.
it
You
is
gotta drop it.
required.
You go ahead,
Respect is required to maintain a relationship.
True.
It is. But when you're doing disrespectful things, you're pretty much revoking any presence of respect. And you have to identify that.
And to what you were saying earlier, like I'm not willing to give my all because I don't respect you yet. And I know for a fact that you don't respect me. We have that initial level of, that first peel of an onion.
Like, we
respect.
know what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cute, I'm cute. Let's do this. And then you learn like, oh, she got issues. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can respect that. And that she let me know about it. And she has this, and I can respect that. It's like you learn to every level, every year. There's a different change. There's something that changes. If it's your hairstyle, is whatever. Something is going to change. So you have to continually learn and continually build that respect, that love that you have for this person. Like even through disrespect, like we learn to honestly like build either stronger or apart. You know, like, oh, she disrespected me. I can't do it. You know, she disrespected me. Hey, let's talk about why you feel that it's necessary to disrespect me in this manner, or that you can.
Exactly.
Or let them know how they disrespected you. Because sometimes you may see one thing as disrespect, and they may be like, oh, but I'm just so used to doing this.
And then it's how you say it, right? Because if you say, I feel disrespected when this happens, it's like, dang, I don't ever want to do that because I think he's
Yeah.
as opposed to saying, you're disrespectful. Now you got me the defensive.
Now you're coming from my character.
You
And
know what I
that's
mean?
not
Like,
me. Yeah.
you're not going to get the same results.
I strongly believe that any long-lasting relationship, you're going to have to build a friendship within it. Because for one, you don't want to disrespect your best friend. Like, you don't want to disrespect your partner if that's your homie. That's your love. That's your friend. Like, I just believe. Like, you know, like, I think everybody in here has a best friend. All right? And you have made decisions to not do something because of the love that you have for them. Like, that is a thing that we need in relationships stronger. Like, people are banking off of the attraction that we have rather than the friendship that we built. Like,
That bond
but attraction can go away so easily. But that bond, this friendship that we have, that usually holds on for forever. Like, I mean, it's just me. Maybe it's just me.
I agree.
No,
I
I
completely
agree.
with
No, we
that.
agree.
I completely agree with that. But since you guys are here with us, kicking it with us, we are really big about getting to know who's behind the mic.
Definitely.
So,
Talk, man, how we going to learn about you?
yeah, right. First, we want to hear, like, okay, are we even willing to learn who you are? But no, I know you have a book.
I do.
What is it?
The name of my book is To My Future Woman Crush Wednesday.
And where did that come from? Like, what is it?
It came from a lot of stuff. So I was in a relationship. The relationship failed. Everything that I thought we wanted together turns out it was just me. We wanted to be married, and she was like, "No, I don't think I want to be married." We wanted kids. No, I don't think I want kids. I don't think I want your last name. I think people that go to church too much are crazy. I was just like, man, this is interesting. I'm learning new stuff about you now. And rather than be upset or pissed off at that relationship ended, I started writing letters to my future wife. For no other reason than I just wanted to be aware of what I was missing in someone else. And it evolved to post on Facebook and Instagram. Then it evolved to a book and a series of very creative videos. But it's not a manual. It's just like the words that I was thinking in the moment. Like, this is what I want to say. And it was more of, I don't know how to communicate. I haven't known how to communicate all my life to someone that I love. Like, how do you say I love you without saying I love you? Because we say I love you for so many things. Like, oh, I love this. I love Tiff's treats, just in case you didn't know. Like, I love water. We say love, and it doesn't really indicate or let anybody know or understand what you really mean.
Yeah.
So rather than saying I love you, how can I say I love you? And that's really what I did for 92 pages.
What was that journey that you had to go on to get there? Like, was it... Because I know it went from posts, and I used to love the posts, and then you were like, I got a book. Oh, okay, great, there's a book. But going from the post to a book, what journey had to happen in there? Were you surveying
What
people?
process?
Were you healing? Like, were you making amends with old relationships? Like,
All of that, actually. But the biggest thing that moved from the post to the book was I saw death. I was in Cuba. You know, you go on vacation, you enjoying yourself, and I'm at the airport coming home, and I had this amazing experience. And while I was at the airport, I saw this plane come out the sky, and 157 people died, like, right in front of me. And I was like, if nothing else, I want someone to know that I love them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know who this person is. I'm not married. I'm not even in a relationship. I have no idea who I'm supposed to be talking to. But that mortality, that I saw life be extinguished, and I was like, hey, look, from now on, I'm telling everybody how I feel about them.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I love you. I'm going to describe in very detailed words how I love them. So my best friends get messages from me all the time. My brother, my nephew can't read yet, but he got messages coming to him. You know, so like it was to try and translate these thoughts, emotions, and feelings into something that someone on the most basic of thought patterns could understand. You know, it's like we look at water, but we don't know how powerful it is.
Yeah.
If somebody really told you that water, for one, can get out of any container, think about that. Water can get out of any container. If it's cold, it condescends. And now it's up. plastic is made to hold water, but when it's cold enough, it can break out of it. When it's hot enough, it can perspire. Like nobody, you don't have to understand anything else, but like water is that powerful. It can clean, it can destroy, as we saw a couple weeks ago, you know, in Houston. But when you understand how to describe something, like everybody understands it better. And that's pretty much my journey, is learn to describe and learn to emote feelings and emotions. Now, I'm not going around being sensitive all the time.
But no, you did the right thing, because you confirmed what I told her last night, because we was talking about for like breakups after people break up, and you know people be acting different after they break up. I was like, see guys, we just go to the gym and pray.
No.
And you just confirmed.
No. Let me set the record straight. He's an outlier, okay? He went through his own little journey.
He went to the gym.
I did go to the gym.
Not everybody's writing
books. And I shot
books.
the shots, and I wrote the book on the sideline because I didn't get picked for the game.
Yeah, no, not everybody's going and writing books and going on this self journey, especially not all men. But
not
I'm not going to
everybody can do it sober.
Thank you.
Not everybody can do it sober.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. So there were some parts I'm not going to say there was nothing that I missed. I did it the wrong way. I drunk. You know, I tried to get it in as much as possible. You know, like I was doing all the things that took me out of who I was. And then when I learned to meditate, when I learned to pray, when I learned to be alone, then it was another message that needed to be conveyed. Like those things that everybody in the world told me I needed to do was drink and hey, smoke something. I don't even smoke, but you know, it was like everything that every song told you to do, go to church. Like those things only worked for so long. But when I had to really face who I was as a person, then it was a different world.
Got to get them works.
See?
Got to do them works.
And then you've got Tiffany.
I was just going to get to her.
Man.
How did we get to marry us, Tiffany? How did you become that?
Actually, I used to march for equality with my friends and my mentor. And in 2014, I became an ordained minister. I had a tumor on my like under my scalp, and I was like, okay, well, if I die, I can just be as close as possible to God. So I became an ordained minister. And then the following year, it became legal for people to get married across the board, regardless of their sexual orientation. And I practice love daily. And I felt this need to be available and accessible to individuals who wanted to get married and not be before people who would judge them or not join them in the celebration. And so in November 2015, I married my friends, and it was beautiful and exciting. And they were just like, you know, this is a thing, and you're gonna like really make it big, so come up with a name. And I was just like, you know, let's keep it simple. I'm a mutt, marry us Tiffany. And this past year, I've been doing.
I'm a mutt.
I'm a mutt, marry us Tiffany.
But then this past year, I've been doing Marry as Tiffany, Merry, because some people are already, you know, married, but they've lost their way intimately or communication-wise. And then some people are not married or dating, but they have dealt with things in a way that have left them feeling too drained to give themselves to anybody else. And I'm just big on people who feel, and not always the pain, but can feel in a space and fill it up with, you know, the grace of God.
How did you get to the point to be able to actually teach these things and actually help people and on these certain levels?
Because I thought I was speaking in layman's, and there were too many faces twisted and perplexed by what I was saying, and I realized the how-to was missing. So I'm breaking it down. If you don't need steps 1 through 5, go to page 5 and catch the rest of it. But the whole essence of it is when you understand that there are different types of love, and if you can't put yourself in its definition and actually do it physically, tangibly, then you may have an opportunity to increase or leverage that skill set. And I just feel like with what I'm doing now, I'm eliminating the run to the divorce line, because at least you're putting best foot forward in that effort, as opposed to draining yourself or watching somebody on TV inspire you to be a single anything. You know, we were put here to have helpmates and to have companions, and not necessarily taking away from those who choose not to, but those who want to have a companion and have a helpmate or be a helpmate. We need some tips. And I'm just, you know, if you want to, I'm here for it.
She's like, just come as you are, whatever you need, even if you don't want a relationship, just allow me. So what your process is like to allow people to understand themselves and have the tools for just any connection. It's
Any
not
connection.
just
Any
romantic.
connection. So I run a nonprofit organization. No shame in that plug either. But what's really important to me is how I'm able to openly, altruistically look a man in the eye at the red light and give him as much love and compassion as I do him. Regardless. And people don't understand or embrace altruism altogether. Some people have been conditioned based on where they were raised or what they've experienced to turn away when they see things they don't find comfortable or easy to relate to. And so for me, it's necessary that regardless of the encounter or experience, if it's just at the red light or if it's at the altar, you need to be able to know how to love people without telling them. And acknowledging somebody who has a sign saying, you know, I just need someone to acknowledge my existence. And you lock eyes with them. Like, that shows love. Yes.
Because the people will not mess with people from other places just because they from over there. So
Exactly.
like, they don't even take that.
In humanity. Putting humanity back in humanity.
It's definitely
Yeah.
necessary.
The connection within it. I love that.
Thank
That's
you.
really dope. Yeah, man, I feel like I've gotten so much today.
No,
as
it
far as
was-
like this
it was a lot.
conversation. It was really good. How can we follow you all? Like, how do we find you? How do we get your book? How do we reach you? I know you gave us all cards when
Oh,
you
yeah,
came in.
so-
And I was like, I love
She
this.
really had a card
I
like
said,
sitting
yeah,
in
I
front.
was like,
here.
I was like, oh, I thought she sold rings.
He was like, I don't need those.
I'm actually, I'm Mary S. Tiffany on Instagram and Facebook, and then I'm Wordmatician without vowels on Facebook and Instagram. I have content. I've got like 50% of some freestyles I recorded in 6 hours on iTunes and all of the streaming sites. So if you're
Come on,
listening,
you freestyle for 6 hours straight?
3 days, but yeah. I'm an extemporaneous speaker.
You got it.
So you can,
That's
you
a
can
long
pick a
time,
number,
bro.
pick a number 1 through 10.
Nah, don't do that. I don't
No,
know.
yes, please,
We're
please.
not gonna
I
freestyle like
wanted
me.
to do that before we leave. Do it. Go ahead.
Don't do it.
Pick a number.
2 is my number.
Okay. Pick a number 1 through 10, cameraman. 5. Okay. Give me 2 words.
I did.
Give me 5.
It's okay.
Just words, not a sentence.
Just words.
I love basketball.
That's a sentence.
Oh,
Give me words, babe.
Words.
Take a deep breath.
You, be, love, true, emotion.
Love is the religion I practice. I find myself understanding that I did be the statements because we never meant to go through the progression of looking forward. We always thought the end, and mine was more so the end of time because we never wanted to rewind and find ourselves in place or in line. We always rush to points we never get past because we just want to prove points, but we don't understand that the whole existence of this was just to fit in the conundrum. We don't swing enough. Don't allow ourselves to feet flop. The sense of the knowing that sometimes we get too perplexed because our tongues go too swift, but I did it. Found myself victim because love became something so easily detected because we be so free, but understanding that sometimes the green trees don't come to the leaves because we be so quick to leave, allowing ourselves to conceive that this could be conceited. I don't mean to be conceited, but your statements I've depleted because there was no reason for you to ever question your greatness. The multitude of his grace would only allow your face to fall upon the skin of some woman who would make you feel like the king that you have already been ordained to be, but we are still waiting for someone to give us the validation we already did.
Amen.
Point proven.
Right.
She is the wordmatician.
Right. Oh, hey, look, it's so quiet. Nobody got
Right.
And everybody's like,
Right.
don't ask me
I
what
think she
number.
says end the show. Like she.
Thank you guys for kicking it with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can follow me on.
Because I'm like, we need to just end it right
You
here.
can follow me. I can't do nothing what she just did. Not gonna lie. You can follow me at Ikechi Ojire, spelled Ikechi, on Instagram and on Facebook. You probably won't be able to get in on Facebook, but Instagram has plenty of room, so we good on that.
Yeah, no, she's quick with words and he's quick with his hands because he's amazing. You can play. Tell us about
That's me.
your music. Tell us about what you do. Because
What
I
do
know
I do?
with the Woman Crush Wednesdays, you actually play, right?
She was in the room on one time with seeing me do music. Now
I'm just saying, like,
No, I'm a musician. I play bass guitar, drums, keys, trumpet, trombone. I was a band director for about 12 years in Houston. I taught at Cashmere. I taught at Worthing. I've taught at Johnston Middle School. Well, Meyerland Academy now. So I have a skill set that I occasionally get to use. I've played for artists all across the world.
That's
Brian
so
McKnight,
amazing.
Shantae Moore.
Wow.
You know, a couple people Nothing major.
Oh, so you see you at 90s, look, you that R&B gonna get you right.
I mean,
So wait,
look.
do you play like you have instruments at home? I can bring you to a studio?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's what's up.
He has a full, like,
That's what's up.
Yeah.
situation.
All live the arts, darling.
No, I mean, yeah, do a little something. I went to school at Texas Southern University.
I was about to
Won
say, is it
homecoming this weekend,
Okay.
and then I went to Berklee College for Music. So, yeah, when I say I traveled the world playing music, my first gig playing with one of these artists was like, all right, so we'll meet you in South Africa. I was like, all right, that's what we do. Like, all right,
We on the way.
yeah. I mean, you know, y'all already sent the ticket. Cool, I'll be there then, I guess.
That's dope though. That's
That's
dope.
amazing. Your gifts will make room for you.
Yes, they will.
They truly will.
They will make room. But again, thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you for
All right,
having
man.
me.
Thank you.
You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.